The story now shifts from talk to taste. In part 1, Ken and I uncovered the roots, traditions, and quiet power of Brazil's coffee. Today, we take the plunge. 5 coffees, 1 origin, countless possibilities. Join us as we put Brazil's most iconic flavors to the test. Yeah, Brazil.
It's a lovely, quiet, gentle, with real depth, right?
Yeah, real depth and real fragrant.
You sort of drop into the aroma, and you get all sorts of subtle notes. This could be one of those coffees with a slight Bourbon edge to it, because you get that subtle sweet nut, chocolate, stone fruit, little hint of peach.
Yeah, I can get peach out of that.
Yeah, very nice.
Very nice. The hallmark of Brazil's to me is balance.
Yeah.
Almost never too much of anything.
To characterize the sort of invitation to a kind of a enveloping, quiet enveloping sort of character. And I can't, aside from saying that, I can't elaborate. So let's taste it and see.
Let's taste.
It's quiet, deep, resonant. A word I use too much. People who are uncomfortable with bright coffees, bright, acidy, high-grown coffees would appreciate this coffee, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's something that some other people, to put the negative on that, would be, there's not that wild, distinctive acidity that comes from so many of their favorites. And yet it's a really nice cup of coffee. I mean, there's nothing missing that has to be there.
It smooths very nicely in the cup.
Yeah.
There's just the slightest hint of dryness, of astringency, just enough to give it some authority and edge. Resolves in the finish just beautifully.
Yeah.
And I'm getting something that I would call chocolate, particularly in the finish. Kind of a nut tone chocolate.
On my lips, yeah.
Goes down well, doesn't it?
It sure does. I could. I mean, I'm ready to have my cup of coffee. It's a really nice cup, really nice morning cup. Not an extroverted coffee, but that's fine. Yeah. I love the paradox of coffee. We use it to stimulate and relax.
Right.
And this would be a great relaxing cup.
This is one of those babies that I drink too much of too fast.
I think I'm keeping up with you. Yeah, this is really...
What about the mouthfeel? Nothing exceptional in
medium
in weight, in impression of weight. And it's smooth, maybe satiny, but not syrupy. Nice finish. I really get nut in the finish. I'm trying to think which nut.
Pecan was what I would jump to.
Definitely pecan. That's a good call.
Yeah. Man, this is great.
Okay.
I mean, I want to finish this.
I'm going to stop here.
Okay. Let's look at what we've got. Yeah. Oh, this is Durango coffee. This is one I found, and this is a red Bourbon.
Well,
and,
good.
From Santa Lucia. From Durango, Colorado. He was touting the wonderful storage capabilities of Colorado. I know a number of roasters, and they're always happy about the low humidity lets them hold on to their coffees a little longer.
So it's red Bourbon. Does it say anything else? The processing is a natural, I take it?
I'm going to guess it is, but let me see if there's anything.
I'm sure it's a natural. It could be a pulp natural, or the balanced viscosity. It might suggest it's a honey coffee or pulp natural. There's no hint of any kind of ferment or off taste from the drying. Yeah. It's lovely rendition of the type, kind of a platonic ideal of a natural Brazil, I think, in many respects.
Are you ready to pour the second sample, Ken?
Yes, I am.
Man, that was good. High bar to start with.
I got a really nice, round, sort of, to me, banana-toned
Banana is
nose
interesting.
on
Yeah,
this.
so more fruit in this one.
Again, it's kind of really subtle and layered. I can get all sorts of berries and hints of stone fruit. You know, if you take blueberry as the blueberries rather than as a blueberry syrup or blueberry pancakes, but as the fruit, I definitely get blueberry in here.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that it has that. This one I would not just instantly guess, if someone handed it to me that it was Brazil.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is a kind of a lighter, liftier, as you put it, a little more extroverted than the first one, than A.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little spices. You're getting any cinnamon? Very slight.
I went to nutmeg initially, but I think cinnamon. Yeah, cinnamon's better.
No, I'm thinking nutmeg is better.
Nutmeg, okay. Well,
but I think that's characteristic of
they just go together.
Of coffee that doesn't have a very distinctive suite of aromatics, but sort of layered and overlapping. Definitely, boy, the spice herb element is very clear. I think when we taste it, we may get some savory depth to it. We'll see. The banana is gone for me, and I have all these the spice and.
Yeah. Did you wonder? Does it disappear, or is it just something else comes forth? Yeah.
Well, it's just in our brains.
Right. Perhaps. There's a show.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give it a sip.
Cheers.
Kevin, I'm afraid that I think this is excessively low key for me.
The word strange comes to mind because it had so much spice in the fragrance of the aroma. I'm not tasting any of that.
Almost none. That is curious.
I don't know what they did with it. It's like standing at the door, about to ring the doorbell. You ring the doorbell, and then you hear a party going on inside, and then you open the door, and no one's in there.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I like to talk about the difference between structure and aromatics. The structure is more of the not only the mouthfeel, but the balance of basic tastes. I think the structure is much more impressive with A than with this coffee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good coffee. You have a kind of a sweet or several kinds of overlapping kinds of impressions of the underlying character of the coffee. And here, the underlying character is not there. I mean, there's just not much there.
No, I mean, it is interesting in a way.
This is such a beautiful exercise, the difference between these two coffees. That A is subtle, low-key, but it really has a kind of a subtle depth and resonance and that really makes you want to keep coming back to it. Yeah. And this one, I would say, well, no. I'm afraid that it's a little characterless.
And if anyone's curious, because I haven't mentioned roast in either of these tastes so far, the roast is fine. The roast is certainly not in the way, and nothing too light or too dark about it. This one, unfortunately, it's like I'm looking for something. I'm trying to think, could this be for espresso? No. Could this be for? I may be blending. It's coffee. I mean, it's not. There's no. I'm not tasting bad things.
I think would be a good blending coffee, but it would bring something to the blend.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
Whereas this one, I don't
The
know that it would bring too much to the blend. It might help soften and
Tone down.
complicate a brighter coffee. But
Yeah.
well, let's
Soft.
let's see. I hope it's not
Are we
somebody, not some friend of mine or.
You know, I like everybody too much
Yeah.
to want with us
Yeah,
to
right.
be theirs. But
Uh-oh.
well, it's a Willoughby's, and it's a honey.
Well, Barry Levine at Willoughby's is one of my great old coffee friends. So I think that he'll forgive me. I guess that's it.
I'll let you walk up to him first at the next trade show.
Yeah, they have great coffees at Willoughby's.
They're great.
Yeah. What's the farm name?
Fazenda
Fazenda.
Triunfo?
Triunfo.
Fazenda Triunfo. Yeah, they're claiming toasted wheat, melon, and mango.
It's funny, now I'm enjoying it a little more.
You know, sometimes coffees, get better as they cool.
I'm getting some low-key fruit. But this is interesting. I find Brazilian naturals are, in some ways, usually have more character than the honey or pulp naturals. Did they call it honey process?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Maybe pulp natural is just less common of a term.
Well,
I remember originally hearing pulp naturals discussed, but
the Brazilians invented popularized the method.
Popularized it.
But then some clever folks in Costa Rica decided that pulp natural wasn't going to sell much coffee, and that honey. And honey's a perfect word because it looks like honey.
Yeah.
Coffee people talk about the mucilage as honey, so it's a master stroke of marketing. Let's move on.
I think we've said it. Yeah. Okay.
I am afraid that this has a kind of a wood. It leads with a kind of a wood. Not an unpleasant wood, but on the other hand, it's not. I wouldn't characterize it as with any exciting terms like cedar or certainly not sandalwood. Maybe a kind of a quiet sandalwood. Yeah, I get a little. There's a little kind of a tease of interest. There's a nice, definitely nut. What nut do you get?
Well, that's the question. Yeah,
Kevin.
I don't think pecan. I'm going more toward. I was about to guess cashew on the nut. Good for you. So I don't know if you will agree, but that's okay. But at least it'll stimulate the conversation.
I think it's a very good call. I think there's a kind of a mixed nut.
Mixed nut, yeah.
But the cashew, kind of sweet, round, slightly buttery.
Yes, the buttery
kind of nut.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find chocolate back there. Maybe I got cocoa now.
Do you have it? Do you have cocoa?
Yeah, cocoa.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, try it. Try cocoa.
Yeah, I'm trying cocoa.
So we have some
I mean, there's
cashew,
something.
cocoa. I'm trying to elevate the wood to some refined or prestigious kind value. This is a little bit of a leap, but I think there's a sort of a older, faded sandalwood note.
Okay.
I mean, the coffee's not faded, but the sandalwood note.
Right, but sandalwood note
like,
is,
Yeah, now that I'm calling it, I'm getting it very distinctly.
Yeah.
There's some nice stuff going
That's
on.
good.
Very nice. It's sweet. There's sweet toned. As we know, that we can't really taste sugar. The sugars in coffee can't be tasted or smelled. Certainly the associations we have, these note and sandalwood and nut notes and that cocoa, I think that all of that adds up to a kind of impression of sweetness.
Yeah,
Give it a
nice.
taste,
This is cool.
Kevin.
Okay. Bon appetit.
The mouthfeel is pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah, it's more viscosity.
It's heavier, more substantial, more what might call a full-bodied coffee.
Yeah.
Kind of round and quietly viscous with an impression of weight. I think the cup is nice. I mean, it's, again, a very quiet cup.
So far, that's the link, that I get. I see why they're blended a lot.
It has a wonderful mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this would be a beautiful
nice
anchor in a blend. Lovely. And I think that the nut and aromatic wood notes, I think, would support enrich kind of brighter fruit notes. But it's a nice cup in itself. Very quiet. Somebody who doesn't like a bright, acidy coffees would be very satisfied with it. There's enough acidity in all of these cups to keep them alive. I don't think any of them would be, I would call, flat at all.
No, there's nothing that says this is
the acidity
post-crop or anything like that. Yeah,
right.
This is a real nice.
The acidity was well matrixed into the cup. It's there. It keeps it alive and keeps it from flattening or thinning at all. This is not a thin cup. It's close to syrupy, I think.
You're heavier bodied than I expected from Brazil, just based upon my stereotype, my preconceived notions.
The body somehow supports the quiet aromatics.
Sort of
this
was less of a surprise.
Package. Right.
Yeah, the second one was a real surprise. This one is just what I expected when I walked in the room.
Well, whose coffee is it?
Oh, that's okay. All right, let's find out. I am curious myself. Oh my gosh! Oh, really? This is what? Okay. I really don't remember. This is C is Klatch coffee.
And what does it say about the Brazil in terms of farm or processing?
This is the Klatch Diamond Reserve, so I think, I thought this was a natural. This is a roaster, though, that is peerless for getting good coffee.
I think whoever sourced this coffee was thinking mouthfeel, body.
Exemplary.
That's one of the cliches about Brazil, is a full body. I don't think that's always true. It certainly is in this case.
I go back to this. 20th century, people drank coffee all day long. It was what people drank. Before soft drinks, they used to blame the percolator for the fact that coffee consumption went down. It was really the introduction, too, of a lot of different options to drink, and that hurt coffee for a while. But this was a coffee that I could see drinking all day long. I have a cup in the morning, a couple of cups in the morning, a couple of cups in the afternoon, and one in the evening. It's like music. Some music shouts at you. None of these cups shout at me.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
Shall we?
Let's hear of another coffee. Before Ken and I take another sip, a quick thank you to our November sponsor, Big Shoulders Coffee. They're a Chicago roaster born right here in the city of Big Shoulders. What I love about them, they don't just roast coffee, they educate drinkers, because an educated coffee lover recognizes better coffee, buys better brewing gear, and keeps the taste quality high by brewing to culinary standards, which reflects on the original farm forward to the entire coffee industry, to the person sipping the finished cup worldwide. You can find their coffees and their story at bigshoulderscoffee.com.
Well, I'm getting some distinct flowers in this one.
Yeah.
I really didn't pick up floral notes much in the others. They may have been there had I sort of dug down for them. But right on the top here.
Yeah, this is, and yet I
got
could
kind of a rather perfumey flower.
Perfumey, yeah. Wow. Hold on, what is that?
Just
got it.
What's the flower that men wear as boutonnieres at wedding and all that? Carnation, is that?
Carnation, yeah.
Just a subtle, sweet, perfumey flower.
Really nice. I still feel I can tell it's Brazil.
I'm getting a distinct, like raisin.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. It's probably in some of the other cups too, and we just didn't pick up on it. It's a characteristic note for quiet naturals like Brazil's.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the coffee people even call the fruit that dries on the tree as raisins.
Oh, they call them raisins.
I'm getting a very quiet grapefruit.
I was going to say citrus. So grapefruit would work really well.
Because there's a slight kind of bitter edge to the citrus,
there's always
I think.
a little
And like
bit in
grapefruits have a very
grapefruit,
pleasant, at least the skin. There's some a wonderful kind of sweet, substantial foundation to this aroma. I'm having trouble assigning any specific note to it. You feel that? It kind of supports the...
Is it a caramel, is it?
Caramel is what you were saying?
Is it caramel? Yeah, I was going to say.
That's good.
Sure.
That's very good. Caramel is a very common kind of fundamental note in coffee. I'm surprised that we didn't call it earlier.
But this one, it really has it.
It's nice because there's a caramel bottom and the floral top. It doesn't have the range of a high-grown coffee from some fancy variety, but it definitely has a nice range.
Oh, yeah. And again, balance is unquestionable.
It is balanced, definitely, but the range, I mean, they're kind of...
The range, the range isn't as
The
wide.
bottom notes, kind of caramel that you called, and then the floral top note.
Yeah.
I put raisin somewhere in the middle there.
Raisin in the middle, yeah. Wow.
Well, good.
Let's ready to...
I think this coffee needs a little brightness.
Subdued.
Yeah, exactly. The structure is a little too inert. Needs a little brightness, little spark of acidity. And I don't think it compensates quite with kind of resonance. In other words, that's the cup A. I'm idealizing cup A now. We'll go back and see how it is.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on cup A.
Yeah, cup A. Cup A had a kind of...
I saw it shiver a little.
Right. A kind of quiet excitement to it. This one, I feel a little bit let down in the cup.
Yeah, I the one that opened my mouth first about balance, and
I'm having trouble getting that floral note.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't translate from the nose to the mouth.
It finishes nicely, though. These are all, as we say, clean Brazils.
Yeah.
I can imagine drinking this through the afternoon. That I sort of give it some space to be itself. I'm getting a little more quiet acidity.
Yeah, it's just what it is, but it doesn't seem wrong. It's just different than the other cups. It's easy to imagine why it translates so well into espresso because with all these coffees.
Yeah.
There's nothing on top that gets annoying.
This one, and I'm sure our audience, probably most of them know this, but the espresso brewing method tends to exaggerate taste characteristics all around. It tends to push or exaggerate brightness or acidity. The coffee enthusiasts have gotten themselves in a spot where they can appreciate really bright, almost astringent espressos. The typical espresso drinker, if there is such a thing, would not care for a bright, aggressively acidy coffee. This one is nice because I think it's expressive without showing off or any kind of show-off extroversion in any of its elements.
I'm laughing because I have had the experience, and I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna guess. In fact, if you've had the same experience, or if you haven't, you think I'm full of it, which I'm very likely to be too, just tell me below. But I've had the experience of having someone very proud who may be a leader of some sort in the specialty industry, who's a roaster, make nicely, beautifully crafted espresso before me and handed it to me, and grinning and saying, "Hey, you taste this," and it's a very bright coffee, and I'm just like trying to swallow it, and and maintain. I mean, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings who really believes in it, but it's very hard for me. It's not my natural, doesn't please my perhaps unsophisticated taste buds. And these coffees, none of these would have that problem. It's
amazing to me how the so-called third wave has managed to change tastes at a certain demographic. And anyhow, has managed to change tastes in espresso, so that we can enjoy and tolerate the kind of very bright, dry espresso without calling it sharp. I guess we call it exciting.
Exciting.
But I'm not knocking it because I've enjoyed many. But you're right. Going around the SCA show and somebody hands you an espresso and expects you to light up, and you sort of do light up, but Italian ideal in espresso, of course, is a kind of a quiet, subtle, resonant sort of cup, right? Ely ideal, for example, eschews any kind of brightness or any extreme at all.
Right.
So you're right. I think all of these, except maybe the honey or pulp natural B, would make very nice espresso. Certainly C with that big mouthfeel would make a wonderful one, and this cup would make a very balanced. I'm getting the Bourbon taste in this. You getting that? A little bit of black currant.
Yeah.
A savory, sweet tart.
I'm certainly going to guess that. Yeah, I'm going to guess that. Yeah, I'm getting that taste, whether it's Bourbon or not. I would bet this is Bourbon.
What is it? Where is it from?
See.
What is its story?
Well, yeah, here we are. Oh, yes, this is a natural yellow Katai. No, not
Catuai.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Catuai. Catuai.
Yeah.
All the letters are pronounced.
Yeah.
From a micro lot, and of course natural, but that's
Old Soul.
Yeah, Old Soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason Greased at Old Soul is a very, very astute buyer of Brazil. Brazil is central to his coffee thinking, and he goes through great lengths to get the right Brazil. Now the Catuai is a hybrid, but has no Robusta genes in it at all.
No Robusta.
Combines. It's a complex hybrid that combines Typica and Bourbon.
These beans don't just mate with anyone. they have lineages, like they're aristocracies.
My experience with Catuai is that it can be depended upon to produce a good cup. Not a very startling or distinctive cup, but I've had Catuais and experimental farms, for instance, in Hawaii, that were very nice coffees.
Yeah, Luis Otavio. I hope I'm pronouncing these things right. They're a great roaster. I like their Mocha Java a lot. I think we've got one more coffee.
I was talking about aromatic wood notes, and this coffee has it. It's a very nice aromatic wood, I would say.
Wow, yes. What kind of wood?
I think we can call it cedar. Right.
Cedar? Yeah.
And wherever there's a kind of aromatic wood, there's probably a nut note as well. I think pecan again.
Pecan again, yeah. Okay. I'm going with that too.
The kind of orangey citrus.
Orange citrus.
Low-key orangey.
Yeah.
Like orange zest. And there's some flowers in there too, huh?
Flowers, yeah. Wow.
Now I'm picking up on flower, I'm getting quite a bit. I mean, they almost make jasmine, but not quite the flowers. Well, that's a nice nose on this coffee.
Yeah, really nice.
It's interesting, in all of these Brazils, we didn't get one in which there's that sort of tongue puckering, acidy brightness when you first sip it.
I like that. I like it.
Well, it's part of the pleasure
of
of brighter coffees, right? But
it is when you get it. But I like that.
Yeah.
I like not getting it too with ease.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it can be a kind of a distraction.
I'm taking a day off from brightness.
It's a kind of a distraction when you first, after you've been enjoying the aroma, to hit that a kind of aggressive brightness. There's none of it in any of these coffees. No. But this is a nice, round, subtle, layered.
I'm going to put this out for the music lovers. If you know what I mean by ribbon microphones were used in radio and throughout music. Early jazz records there's all ribbon. They don't have any bright high end like condensers. Condensers didn't come along until after World War II from Germany. But ribbons have this wonderful, smooth, beautiful tone. But there's never any super high end. This is like that in coffee terms.
Well, I don't know much about ribbon mics, but I think that's the analogy is persuasive, Kevin.
Thank you.
This is a little brighter than the any of them so far, I think.
Almost condenser microphone like. I hate that. Every time I say something, I go out on a limb.
Well, I'm getting the grapefruit in the cup, but a lot of other things as well. Did I call cedar on this one?
You did.
Because I'm getting it.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
kind of
a taste.
A cedar note. Of course, sometimes when you're leading a tasting, people say, well, cedar, I don't eat cedar.
You don't think you do, you drink it.
Right. And I think most coffee drinkers know now that our taste is mainly aromatics. Aromatics that reach the mouth.
Yeah.
Post-nasally.
It's right. It's why when you have a cold, it's hard to taste.
If we can smell it, we can taste it. Well, that's, again, one more nice balanced cup. And the finish, that sort of subtle brightness comes out in the finish. This may sound a little... I'm going out on the same limb the third time, which is so I'm picking up a little Bourbon character in this coffee, a variation on the other two.
This has got a nice viscosity too. It's certainly not,
good point,
to me, light body.
Yeah, you're right. We wouldn't call this a heavy-bodied cup, but it's a very smooth and satiny, viscous mouthfeel. Very nice. Wow. What are we drinking?
Okay, I gotta know too. Oh my gosh, here we go. It's another Willoughby's. That's right. We had and this is a I know for sure is a natural Fazenda by Ixado.
I'm gonna blow that pronunciation anyhow, because the X is tricky in Portuguese. So. But at any rate, it's a natural. The story here for the coffee lover is that we have two different, from the same roaster, not from the same farm. Yeah. Two different processing methods. Cup D is a natural, like the other three coffees. Cup B is a pulp natural or honey coffee process. So the two processes. If I were to go only on process, I'd say, well, I think the natural works a little better in this case. Again, smooth.
Yeah.
All of these cups finish so well. None of them leave behind that sort of astringent drying. Now, I'm particularly fussy about astringency in the finish because I feel it's like white noise. It tends to wipe out other aromatic notes in the finish. And these all finish beautifully. None of them have that distracting astringency. They may fade a little too quickly. I think this one does.
Yeah, it's not a long finish, that's for sure. I'm going to guess this, only because I think I used to think this way. I had coffees identified specifically as Colombian coffees early as specialty coffees. They would be the ones that I noticed were identified by country more often. And then I made an assumption that Brazil coffees, since they look close on a globe, that it would taste similar, but there is a very distinct difference between them. But these are quieter coffees, but I think there's a lot to be said for these, especially if you're the type of coffee drinker that likes to just relax with a cup of coffee and have it several times a day. These are really easy.
Well, of course, that Colombia is sort of at the opposite extreme from Brazil.
I do know.
Because the elevations tend to be very high in Colombia, and the Arabica type tend to produce a very substantial acid. But they also have big body usually. I mean, the kind of Colombia that people like to blend with has a powerful, bright acidity. I hate to call it brightness because it tends to be matrixed in a very substantial mouthfeel. Colombia, of course, is the second leading producer of Arabica in the world, and after Brazil.
Let's put these guys in some sort of order. Now, I've got them like A, B, C, D, E, but then let's talk about our preferences.
The distinctions are pretty subtle. Some of these would be very nice all-day drinkers, but they don't leap out, grab you by the throat and shout at all. In fact, they kind of, it's more than a whisper. It's sort of a mellow.
These are mellower coffees.
Maybe seductive whisper.
Chesterton used to always said, the author, he said that music with dinner was an insult to both the chef and the fiddler. These coffees would all be suitable for background players. And that's why, again, they can mix well. Right. Since they don't have any negatives, I guess I would tend to rate them by what ones would be number one would be the one that I would be the most foreground of them.
The cups that have a little bit of the Bourbon character are my favorites. The Catuai variety, which is the...
this guy.
Yeah.
The Old Soul.
Old Soul. Yeah. I think to me is my favorite.
Micro lot from a yellow Catuai.
Yellow Catuai. Again, the Catuai has a Bourbon component, and I'm getting that little bit of twisty, sweet, savory edge to the cup, and I guess that makes it more interesting to me. Here I'm going against all my preaching about balanced resonance, and And the most distinctive cup is the one I prefer, I'm afraid. You know, the Durango is a little darker roasted.
These are definitely the ones I would go back and forth between for my favorite. A and
you go back and forth between A and D, huh?
Mm-hmm. And yes, A has a. Now that I've had them all, A has a little more roast taste than D does. And since I'm always braying about how I don't like roast, I guess I would say it's the only one that I noticed any roast taste with today.
It's slightly
frankly.
darker than the other.
We don't have the Eggtron numbers to go by, but I can taste it. I mean, this is not a subtle difference. It's subtle in the sense that it's certainly, when someone hears me say dark roast or darker roasted, please, it's nothing to do with Pete's or Starbucks.
It's a little bit darker than the others. I'm sort of enjoying E. And I'm getting the heavy body on C that we noted, the substantial, syrupy mouthfeel. It lets me down. The flavor lets me down a little bit. Doesn't have enough going on. I respect all of these, but I'm liking the yellow Catuai from Old Soul.
I'm torn probably between. I know the roast taste aside, I really liked A. The cupping, I have to admit, sometimes I pass Brazils by because I don't expect. I think of them as blender coffees, but they're not. They're subtle coffees, and there are some key differences between each one of these coffees. Each one of them certainly tastes different. I love the fact of no harshness. I haven't tasted a harsh coffee today.
They all are express the Brazil coffee genius in a sense. They're round, resonant, without any harshness or sharpness, with a kind of a subtle balance. On the other hand, I can see why people pass them by. They don't jump at you. They don't confront you with anything exceptional that you can immediately talk about. I found myself sometimes think, well, what am I going to say about this coffee? It's a very pleasant coffee, but it's it's harder to pick out some colorful element that you can sell people on. If you set your expectations correctly, these are really, really fine cups. I just recommend attentiveness to the quiet genius of these coffees. If this were another origin, we would have all sorts of different cups because the producers and the roasters together would be choosing different processing methods, different varieties, and so on. In some ways, predictability of these coffees, I'm not sure whether that's owing to Brazil. There's kind of a consistency in how the natural Brazil type is grown and processed and sold, or whether it's that the roasters are just picking good blenders. In other words, some of the roasters may be choosing these coffees and, well, I want a good blender because I'm going to use it in my espresso blends, but I'm going to also offer it as a single origin Brazil. Nevertheless, I think it's a very coherent and pleasing array of coffees.
I guess I'll add a final comment to my diatribe, and that is every coffee doesn't need to shout at me. I like the subtleties that we've had today. And I do. Could I drink Brazils every day? I'm going to go on record as saying yes, I could. They're very nice coffees. I do like to drink multiple cups of coffee a day, and they're just really pleasant sipping coffees. I feel like these coffees have that benefit. Every one of these.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Good. Let's talk about money. For just a second, the cost per cups of these coffees, which there seems like there's only two choices. Willoughby's is 58 cents a cup. Both Willoughby's coffees and the Durango coffee are 58 cents a cup. Cost per cup of the Clutch is 74 cents, goes up to 74 cents. Mike. And then Mike's the owner, that's all. I'm just teasing him. The Old Soul is 75 cents a cup. So they're both, dare I say, California pricing. They're definitely more expensive. On the other hand, again, I always add the perspective caveat. 75 cents a cup, that's too expensive to drink? I don't think so.
No.
Shockingly good value to be a connoisseur.
Okay, we'll see what happens after the tariffs hit.
Well, I'm hoping nothing. I'm hoping that the wealthy coffee traders will absorb it, but I guess that's too much to hope for.
They will not. The traders are busy telling the roasters that they have to pass it on to consumers and should explain it to consumers.
Yeah, well, good luck at that.
That's the line of the importers. The fear among some people in the coffee industry is that the rise in general prices for coffee driven by the tariffs, because all countries except Mexico have a tariff, right? So it's a 10, 20%, up to 50% for Brazil and India, is that people will abandon coffee for other beverages. The top end of the coffee, specialty coffee world, will maintain itself. I don't think there'll be much impact there. I think
I'm going to leave a quote by Mark Twain. I've worried about many things, and most of them never happened. People keep asking about this hat. It's our Coffeeists cap, part of the specialty coffee life. It's a great conversation starter. I've literally had people stop me in cafes just to talk coffee. Grab one for yourself or for the coffee lover in your life at Coffeeists.com, because good taste shouldn't stop at your mug. Oh, hi, Ken.
Yeah, that good taste shouldn't stop at your mug. Well, I mean, people would have different opinions about the cap, I think, in terms of taste, etc. But, I don't have a cap. In other words, I'm here in San Francisco, not in Chicago, with big shoulders and so on. And I don't have my Coffeeist cap. So what am I going to do? I'm going to walk out and people won't even know that I'm associated with this terrific show.
If you want to become a coffee genius, subscribe. Each week we taste, test, and teach our way to better beans together.